If I had to ask you the question, who are you? The simplest and easiest response would be to give me your name. But of course, you are so much more than just your name. The question is, do we know ourselves? Do we really know ourselves? There's a peculiar thing in the world of social media. And I know that most of you have social media accounts, even those of you who pretend that you don't, right? Secretly, we've all got either Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or whatever else there is. On a lot of these social media platforms, there's a space given on the homepage or the landing page of our particular account to write a bio, right? You've all seen those, a little bio, where we get to describe ourselves in a way that's fuller than simply our name. We get to introduce ourselves to the world in a way that has a bit more detail than, hi, I'm Jakub Esther. But the peculiar thing about these bios is that we treat them a bit like a sales gimmick or a marketing ploy, right? What we put in these bios is normally the shiny bits about ourselves, the bits that we think others would find attractive. Now, let me say right at the outset, that's not a bad thing, right? It's normal, it's good to want to put our best foot forward, right? But it did leave me thinking in this past week, whether or not through the sometimes strange gift of social media and a world of ever greater connectivity, we've somehow developed the ability to blind ourselves even more to who we truly are. That we've become so accustomed to a curated self-image being presented to the world that that's what we've begun to believe about ourselves. And so the familiar blind spot has become bigger and bigger and bigger. And it becomes harder to answer the question of whether we truly know ourselves. This morning, I want to pick out two things from this text that I believe would help us come to a better and a fuller knowledge of ourselves. The first is this: we have to stop, in heaven's name, comparing ourselves to others. We have to stop comparing ourselves to others. Now, this too is a perfectly normal thing to do and sometimes a good thing to do, right? When we aspire to something, when we're striving for some sort of achievement or growth, whether it be professional or personal, we tend to compare ourselves to others who have made the achievement that we're driving towards. That's a good thing. It's a healthy thing. In that case, comparison becomes a life-giving and a motivating thing. So that's important. There are other times when we're confronted with a more real and honest image of ourselves where our comparison goes in the other direction. We tend then to compare ourselves not to ones that we look up to, but to the lowest common denominator. Like this Pharisee, we say, at least I'm not like other people. Robbers and evildoers and adulterers or tax collectors. By the way, in the ancient world and in this world, none of us like tax collectors, all right? But see, friends, when we compare ourselves as a habit to others, we need to reckon with the fact that it goes both ways. It can be good and healthy when we're comparing ourselves to someone who has achieved what we're aspiring to, but it can be devastatingly unhealthy when it comes to the less presentable parts of who we are, and we compare ourselves to those who are worse than us, right? Because that's what we tend to do. we want to come to a fuller knowledge of who we truly are, a more honest, a more truthful knowledge of who we really are, we have to stop comparing ourselves with others. We have to confront the reality of who we are in the presence of God.